Conversations with Cliff. I'm a free-thinking spiritual beast. We can keep it ratchet or classy. I'm here for the conversation.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cliff. I'm not joined with the usual suspects tonight. My partner in Power, Queen 17, is out doing her thing right now, but I just wanted to come to y'all anyways. It's been a minute, so why not? I wanted to talk about fatherhood. And this is a conversation I've had on multiple podcast episodes, so please go back and check those out. But recently I watched a YouTube about it was talking about fatherhood. It was Kirk Franklin. He had DC Young Fly, Country Wayne, Duval, Ellis was on there, and there's another gentleman I can't recall his name right now. But they had a dope conversation, and it made me reflect on my own relationship with my sons, and how am I as a father. And I wanted to sit down, and I'm going to sit down with them and get a reflection of how they perceive me as a father, and get their understanding, get their perspective. But for me as a father, it all started back 2006. I was in the military. I happened to be out in the field training when I got that call. Hey, your son's on the way. You need to get to the hospital right now. In that moment of me rushing out of the field, and anybody familiar with the military, you know how dusty and dirty it is being out there training. I wasn't even thinking about, let me go shower, get freshened up. It's that time. My first son is being born and I need to be there for it. So I rushed out, made it to the hospital right before it happened. But in that moment of rushing out, a lot of things ran through me. There was a lot of fears. There was anxiety. There was uncertainty, nervousness, and excitement, all rolled into one. And all of it was shaping around, how am I going to be as a father? What am I going to do? What am I going to provide to this little man going forward? And to be honest, I didn't have those tools growing up. No shade, no knock on my father or any of the men in my family, but I didn't have that prime example. No one set me down and said, this is how it is to be a father. This is how, as a man, you're supposed to act and move accordingly. And then once you have kids and have a family, this is how you move as a father. No one set me down for that conversation. No one handed me a book. I learned how to be a father, not from the streets, because most of the people out there in the streets, they was just doing whatever. I learned from watching sitcoms, TV shows in the '90s. You name it, I gleaned something from those characters of, this is how I'm going to be when I get older and I have kids. And it was all edged off of not having a father. And I was saying to myself, I'm going to be the opposite of him. I'm going to do these things I'm seeing on TV, how these fathers are interacting with their child. That's how I'm going to be when I have kids. And I tried. Made a lot of mistakes. My older son is 18. The youngest is 8. I don't know everything. I tried to convey that to my sons. I tried to let them understand that I'm learning just as they're learning. I make mistakes. They may not see it like that, and I know there have been times that we bumped heads. We're still bumping heads now, because I'm learning just as they're learning and navigating life. And it's not an excuse for me, but it's more of a teaching lesson for them. And that's what prompted this episode, is for me to get it out there. So if they're not listening to me in regular one-on-one conversations, maybe they'll catch this clip, and maybe this will help them see a different side of me, and it will generate some conversations that we definitely need to have. Many years ago, before I had kids or even was thinking about it, I met a lady in the military. We knew each other. We weren't like close, but we knew of each other, I should say. And she said, you are going to be a legend. And in the moment, you tell that to a 20-something year old, it's gonna kind of gas you up, pump your head up like, yeah, I'm gonna be a legend. I'm that dude. I'm that dude. She didn't mean it in that manner. She meant it. She said, you are gonna have a legacy. You're gonna have boys, all boys, and you're gonna build a legacy for them. And with that, you are gonna be a legend. And in that moment, it paused me because my 20-something-year-old brain, I wasn't registering that. What is she talking about? Legend, legacy. Nah, I'm having fun. I'm living my best life. I'm in the military, young, dumb, and full of you know what. Um, so I didn't get it. It didn't register to me till later what she meant in that moment. That I am building a legacy with my boys, to be better men. Um, and throughout, after my first son was born in 2006 and my last son being born in 2017, I just been full of all kind of emotions of how to navigate and make sure that they get the best version of me. They get all the things that I've learned and all the things that I'm hoping they will learn and go through life, that I'm giving them those gems. One of the things that I feared, and my sons are young when I talk to their mothers about it, and I have three. I hate the word baby mother, but I have two women. Um, our mothers and my sons, and then my wife. I have two with her. It was tough for me as my kids were younger, and I was talking and having these conversations with my oldest son's mothers. I was telling them, hey, when they get in their teenage years, it's gonna it's gonna be bad, in the sense that they're gonna go through that rebellious stage, and I think that is the time that they need to come stay with me. Both women, were against it. No, not my babies. We will cross that bridge when we get there, kind of thing. And it's always been a fear of mine because of the current situation I'm in with my sons. And I feel like I should have done more. Um, I should have done more to quiet my fears, to calm my anxiety, to be there more. But I didn't. And I'm here now. And I'm trying to be there more. Wanting my sons to see what right looks like. And I'm not perfect. And I explain that to them, that I'm not perfect. No man or woman is perfect. But you should be looking at the example that's before you, and you take the good and the bad from it. So if there's things that happen over the course of life that you didn't like that I did, do the opposite. Um, Understand that you're not going to get it all right. I'm not going to get it all right. No one's going to get it all right. Everyone has what they think should be a good man, a good father. They have that image painted in their head. So when someone doesn't meet that criteria, we want to dismiss them. But I would ask you to give that individual grace. Give me grace. Um, like I stated, I'm learning as I'm going along. Uh, but my ultimate goal for all my boys is to be better than I am. That is the goal. So if my sons are in competition with me, great. I want you to win. I want you to win. I'm giving you the game so you can win. That is my ultimate goal. It should be the ultimate goal for all men, for their children, to be better than them, to succeed in life and be better. I'm giving you the blueprint so you can look at it and then take it and run with it. I want you to be better. I want you to run circles around me when it comes to being a man, when it comes to being a father, to just being a human being. I want you to win. And a lot of us men now suffer from a lot of different fears and a lot of different worries because we're not sure about the future. Me in particular, when I was talking about my legacy, it didn't dawn on me until recently, what kind of legacy am I leaving for my boys? That was the question I asked. I'm not a man of a lot of money. I don't come from wealth. I'm not, generating wealth now. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. We're not hurting. My sons are not hurting. But I said, what can I offer them to further the herd legacy? So, well, I did 20 years in the military, so I have that discipline and that understanding of what life looks like from the military perspective that I can pass on to them. I'm into fitness. That's also a discipline um, of something that I can pass off to my sons that builds confidence. It not only builds your body, but it also builds confidence. It instills a lot of discipline in you to be great, to strive to meet certain standards, to strive to meet certain goals that you may have. I had a lot of goals when I started the military. I had a lot of goals when I started working out. I met a lot of those goals. I exceeded a lot of my goals because I stayed disciplined and uh, I stayed wrapped into it. I stayed tied in, and it's something I want to pass on to my boys. Not necessarily that you got to be locked in and go join the military, or locked in and go join and be in the gym 24/7. No, it's the lessons that I learned while I was in the service and while I was in the gym that I want to pass on to my sons as part of the legacy. You know, I want them to be proud of me whenever they reflect on me. Whenever they're speaking my name, I want them to say, yeah, my dad, dot, 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 did X, Y, Z. Or I remember when my dad did dot, 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 dot. That's the kind of legacy I want to leave them so then they can pass it on to their kids and it keeps going. Fatherhood is probably the most scariest thing that I've ever dealt with. And I dealt with a lot. Like I said, military, 4 deployments, all kind of things. Before the military, I had a life in California that I seen all kind of stuff that was, to the average person, probably be scared shitless. And I'm not, dismissing any of those things that I've been through because they were rough, they were tough. But fatherhood scares me because I felt like I wasn't prepared to be a father. And now that I am, all these years later, I'm still worried. I still carry those fears and anxieties of not ensuring that I've given my sons everything that they need, everything that they want, um, and not just the material things. I'm saying the life lessons that I feel they need to grow and be okay in this world. That is my ultimate goal. I want to make sure that they're okay in this world. That they're not wanting for anything. They're not looking for anything outside that they feel like they didn't get inside. Um, a lot of a lot of kids, this generation of kids, are entitled. They feel like they don't have to do anything. Everything's just given to them, and if it's not, they don't like you. They hate you. Uh, my boys like that, and it's my fault. It's my fault. It's the parents' fault because we give them everything because we were trying to coddle them and say, "I'm gonna give you everything that I didn't have." But what we didn't understand when we were doing that was we're crippling them. We are taking away their power to earn. We're taking away their power to understand the value of something because they didn't have to work for it. They just say, "I." They don't even say, "I want." They just say, "Yeah, the new such and such shoes just came out." That's it. Like, "Hey, Dad, can you get me the new whatevers?" Nah, they just send you a picture of it, and you just better be able to read through that and get the right shoes. And if you don't, they hate you. You're the worst person in the world. You never do anything for them. You never done anything for them in their entire existence based off that one little moment. So how do I correct it? How do I fix the so-called damage that I may have caused in their minds and in their worlds over the years? By being present as best I can. Um, Again, not a saint, not perfect, many faults. There's been many times and many moments that I've missed in their lives, um, mostly due to the military, some due to other circumstances, dealing with their mothers that prevented that. Uh, but I'm here now. And no matter the number of arguments, disagreements, um, the ill feelings that you may have toward me, or even the misconceptions that may have been told to you, I'm still going to be here. I will not stop being your father no matter what happens or what occurs because it's my duty to be in your life. Um, it's my duty to guide you as a man until I can't do it anymore, which is going to be until I'm not here anymore. I'll be an old man still telling my sons what I think they should do and shouldn't do. That's just how it's supposed to be. Uh, I think I wish I could have a do over. Start from scratch, go back to 2006. Me running through that hospital in them dusty ACUs, panicking a little bit, trying to roll my sleeves up, get my jacket off, wash my hands real good, and get right there in position for my son to come out. And given the knowledge that I have now, it would be a lot different. Um, I was asked recently, why didn't I stay with his mother? Didn't work out. Not her fault, not my fault. It just didn't work out. Why wasn't I with my next son's mother? Didn't work out. No fault to anyone. It just didn't work out. Where would I be if I did stay with either one of those first two women? My other two sons probably wouldn't be here. You know, what other ramifications could have happened had I stayed with them? Would the relationship between me and my sons be better? Would it be worse? Who knows? Who knows? I feel like it might have been worse had I stayed with either of them women because we were not meant to be together in that sense. We had a baby. It happens. That's what I teach my boys. Stand up for our responsibilities, be accountable for them. If you're not going to be with the mother, cool. But you're going to be there for that child. And I also tell them, be careful who you lay with because it feels good in the moment. Then after that moment's passed, you got to deal with reality. So you got to protect your peace in that moment. And understand what I'm saying. Protect your peace. Don't go with the assumption that she's protecting y'all or she's on a pill or she's on a... Protect your peace if you want to have some peace down the road. Think about the second and third order effects of the action that you're doing right now. I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. Got a couple awards and got 5 boys. Love them all. Love their mothers for having them. Our relationships, it's not terrible. It's not great. But that's something else that I pass on to my sons. These relationships that you're getting into now as a kid, don't take them too serious. Love, like whoever, date around if that's what you're feeling like you're doing. Let the ladies know if you're not just gonna be with her and you talking to her. Let that be known. Don't get into anything too serious right now. You're young. This is your time to explore, learn life, learn about yourself. It's not the time to get in a committed relationship. This is not the time you're talking about getting married. It's definitely not the time you have kids. You still a kid. And that's to my oldest. You still a baby. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be having none. You can't stop you from having sex. But I can teach you the things that you need to do to prevent changing your life by having a baby too early. I'll also tell you this, you'll never be ready for a kid. You can be a millionaire with a village of people behind you to take care of said baby, and you still won't be ready. Money helps, but money is not the end all be all when it's raising a child. It helps a lot, but you need more than that. I've asked before, would you rather be present or a provider? And I believe I said previously, I would be a provider because that's what I am. But in hindsight, I would rather be present for those little league games I missed. I would rather be present for those little moments when you learn how to ride a bike or the first time you skinned up your knee and it hurt and you want to, you know what I'm saying, cry. And I should have been there to, hey, you won't do all that. Just your knee. Still hurt? All right, then what we crying for? I miss those moments that I should have had with you all. So I would prefer to be present over being a provider. Yes, you need to be provided for, but you also needed my presence. And that's where I messed up. And that's the guilt that I'm going to hold for the rest of my life. Am I wrong in all instances? No. Am I wrong in a lot of instances in your mind? Probably yes. Um, will I go through life trying to make things right? Yes. Will I always be there no matter what comes out of your mouth? Yes. What I need from you is to step up and communicate. I'm always going to be your dad, just like you always going to be my sons. It's a two-way street. It's not a one-sided. You know what I mean? Like as a parent, as a father, I have to take care of you. I have to be there for you. But now as you're getting older, I back up a step or two to allow you to fumble, but I don't want you to fall. So I'm a little bit of a helicopter parent in that sense, where I'm kind of hovering, and as you got older, I kind of back off a little bit to let you live life a little bit. But again, I don't want you to fall, stumble maybe, but I don't want you to fall because that's a thing with me that I didn't prepare you for that fall to get back up and try harder again. I wasn't around for all those little things. And again, that's something I got to deal with, something I got to fix, something I have to ensure going forward that you are prepared. I know you were raised to be respectful. You were raised to do the right thing. Um, but life is going to throw curves at you. Life's going to come at you and make you want to do other things. I just tell you to think. I've been in a lot of situations where I chose to do the wrong thing and it came back and bit me in the ass. I've been in a lot of situations where I chose to do the right thing and walked away, and it worked out in my favor because some of those situations that I found myself in, my friends is no longer living. My friends is doing all day in jail. There's been other instances and situations where I could have got myself caught up in some mess because I was thinking with the wrong head. Um, I just want you to be prepared to live and not live in fear like I am as a father. Of course, you're going to be scared. Of course, you're going to be nervous. Of course, you're going to feel underprepared. But that's what I'm here for. Even as you grow and I grow, I'm always going to be here for that wise counsel to give you that free game to tell you, no. When I was your age, I did. No, son, I wouldn't do it that way. Maybe let's look at it from a different angle. And then you choose whatever way you want to go. And if you choose the way I go, cool. If you don't, and you choose another route and it work out, cool. You choose another route and it does work out, cool, even better. It's your decision. But remember, I'm always gonna be here for you. Fatherhood is a tough job. Being a man is an even tougher job. But we gotta be here. We gotta go through it. And that's why I'm gonna be here for you always. So I'll end this by saying to my sons publicly, if you felt like I wronged you in any moment, if you felt like I wasn't there for you at any time, I apologize. Um, I stated earlier, I don't get everything right, but having y'all as my sons is something that I'm always gonna say was the right thing to do. Uh, I wasn't a terrible parent, but I wasn't great. But I'm here now. So whenever you're ready to have that conversation, or even if you just want to sit in silence, I'm here. My phone number ain't changed. I'm not going nowhere. I can pull up at any time. To the men out there, take care of your children. Despite whatever you might go through with their mothers, take care of your children. And I know it can be hard. I know. I know some women gonna watch this and be like, what? We don't make it. Y'all do. Y'all do make it difficult. Whether it's a mindset, whether it's a he hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt him back. Um, some women are just straight evil. We don't have the grace of not being there for for our children, especially us that didn't have a father growing up, didn't have a father figure growing up. We're damn near like committed to doing it. So to the young men and to the men that just, you like me, you didn't have that blueprint. You didn't have nobody give you the game. Be there for your kids the best way you can. If you can't spend how much ever, don't. If you can just show up, be there, be present. It's a lot of free things you can do. It's a lot of free game you can give. Even though the kids don't want to listen to it, they don't want to hear it. You can give it anyways. It'll hit them later. That's what I'm learning. All the stuff I done talked over the years, my son regurgitates it later. I remember when you said, oh, okay, you was listening. All right. And that lets me know that I am getting through. He is hearing what I'm saying. He ain't doing it in a moment, but it's there. It's bouncing around in his head. So he's getting something out of it. And that's what we got to do as men. Be present. Be more than just a provider. Be more than just, a bill payer, roof on the house, food on the table. You got clothes on your back, yada, yada. Yeah, that's a given. But be there. Tell your kids you love them. Tell them how they're doing good, as well as when you tell them they're doing bad and they're doing wrong. Balance it out, but just be present. That's all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in. If you reach this part of the episode, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you soon. Peace.
Thank you for listening. This has been an A2I Media production.